The Columbia County Chamber of Commerce invites you to attend the Military Appreciation Executive Luncheon Series, Wednesday, June 7th at Savannah Rapids Pavilion. Doors open at 11 a.m. with the program to begin at noon. During the program, Dr. Tom Clark will discuss the economic impact of Fort Gordon on the CSRA. The Executive Luncheon Series is presented by Piedmont Augusta. Registration is required for this event. To register, visit ColumbiaCountyChamber.com or call 706-651-0018.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
His family says he was eaten alive by bed bugs while in jail. Now we're learning what the autopsy has to say.
But first, rush hour has gotten a whole lot worse along part of I-20 after a big rig has overturned.
Yeah, it's a mess right now. We're going to head straight over to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale with a look at our First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
That's right, guys. Unfortunately, we are tracking an accident that is slowing down traffic on I-20. This is thanks to an overturned tractor trailer, and it's backing up I-20. This is near mile marker 197, just east of the Walton Way entrance ramp. Richmond County deputies say the truck hauling gravel overturned, spilling gravel as well as oil and diesel fuel. Only 2 lanes on I-20 eastbound are open, and the Walton Way entrance ramp is closed. This is expected to take several hours to clean up. Of course, we will continue to keep you updated, but here is a look at it. You can see that traffic for this eastbound lane well backed up past the exit and kind of even close to the Bobby Jones Expressway ramp right there. Going outside of our studios next, I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway. Haven't really seen a slowdown on I-20 yet, and it's most likely because of that backup near the Walton Way extension ramp. Next, we'll go out to Grovetown, looking at exit 190 Lewiston Road. Not much traffic out there either, so you're good on the roadways. Luckily, no rain to report at the moment, but we have seen some rain today. And take a look at our temperatures across the southeast. We're currently at 64 degrees at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta. They're under the cloud cover, and it's raining, and it's cool. A different scenario, though, in Columbia. Williams-Brice currently at 80. They've seen a little bit of sun and relatively drier compared to Atlanta. Here's a look at how much rain we've seen so far today. Just under about a half inch for us at Daniel Field off Wrightsboro Road. A little bit more towards Millen, where they're getting close to an inch. Here's a look at where we are still tracking some rain, mainly in the western CS area, so between Crawfordville, Washington, Tignal, just some light showers out there. But for the rest of tonight, and actually over the next 24, 36 hours, this area of low pressure and that stalled front are going to keep our rain chances in play throughout the day Tuesday, but we will see some improvement by the middle of the week. We'll have that full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. Another South Carolinian is officially running for president. After months of consideration, Senator Tim Scott announced today that he's seeking the Republican nomination in 2024.
Our State House reporter Mary Green takes us to Senator Scott's kickoff event in North Charleston.
Senator Tim Scott picking his alma mater here at Charleston Southern to officially kick off his presidential campaign. It comes just over a month after Scott launched an exploratory committee signaling he was ready to join this crowded Republican field.
Let's go!
Senator Tim Scott pitched himself as the leader who can bring the country back from what he characterized as a retreating nation under President Joe Biden. Scott, the only black Republican currently serving in the U.S. Senate, reiterated his past assertion that America isn't a racist country and said in choosing him, Americans would also pick victory over victimhood and greatness over grievance. His name is the latest on a growing list of Republicans vying for the nomination, including former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and former President Donald Trump, with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis reportedly launching his bid this week as well. Scott didn't mention his conservative competition, but told the North Charleston crowd that he is, quote, the candidate the far left most fears.
When I cut your taxes, they called me a prop. When I refunded the police, they called me a token. When I pushed back on President Biden, they even called me the N-word. I disrupt their narrative. I threaten their control. The truth of my life disrupts their lives.
While Scott kicked off his campaign at home here in South Carolina, he won't be here for long. From here, he heads to two other early states, Iowa and New Hampshire, to open his first week as an official candidate in this Republican field. Reporting in North Charleston, I'm Mary Green.
South Carolina Governor Lindsey Graham congratulating Scott in a tweet earlier today. Graham says Scott makes South Carolina proud, and he is one of the most talented and hardworking public servants he's ever known. Just ahead at 5:30, News 12's Nick Veland will break down what Scott's announcement means for the Palmetto State and what kind of role it could play during the primaries. Millions of dollars is coming to the CSRA thanks to community grants announced by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp.
The goal is to revitalize areas hit hard by the pandemic by helping projects that focus on benefiting the community. That includes the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Augusta for its location on Division Street. That's where we go live at 5 to News 12's Craig Allison. Craig, where can we see this money in action?
Well, y'all, that $2.2 million is being put to work right here at this construction site. It's going to be a re-over and betterment for the Harrisburg community right here on Division Street. And that money is, while it's just a construction site right now, this new facility is expected to be ready by the fall. It will include fields for baseball, soccer, football, and pickleball, growing sport here. New lighting, a putting and chipping green, and more. We caught up with the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Augusta about her excitement to breathe more life into the center.
It's going to help us bring to life a dream, I feel like, that we've had for years to renovate the exterior facility at our Hagler Club. A lot of the community will remember that about 5 or 6 years ago we renovated that club because it was the same building that was there, probably 65 years before that.
And all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll also be taking a look at another project benefiting from that Kemp grant money just down the street over at the Kroc Center to put more betterment here into the Harrisburg community.
All right, thanks for that update there, Craig. Developing this evening, at least 4 people are hurt after a partial collapse involving a crane at a building under construction in Atlanta. This happened just a few hours ago along Spring Street. A fire spokesperson says this happened at a 26-story building under construction between the 9th and 10th floors. We'll take you live out to Atlanta live at 5. Here's a look at the scene and some of those cranes up in the air. Right now, crews are waiting for building engineers and the owner of the crane to come down to the site. Again, we had a crane collapse at a building under construction in downtown Atlanta. There, we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
We're also learning more about the death of a Fulton County inmate whose family claims he was...
Craig, developing this evening, at least 4 people are hurt after a partial collapse involving a crane at a building under construction in Atlanta. This happened just a few hours ago along Spring Street. A fire spokesperson says this happened at a 26-story building under construction between the 9th and 10th floors. We'll take you live out to Atlanta live at 5. Here's a look at the scene and some of those cranes up in the air. Right now, crews are waiting for building engineers and the owner of the crane to come down to the site. Again, we had a crane collapse at a building under construction in downtown Atlanta. There, we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
We're also learning more about the death of a Fulton County inmate whose family claims he was eaten alive by bed bugs. 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson was found dead in his cell back in September. He had been in jail for 3 months on a misdemeanor battery charge. The newly released autopsy report shows Thompson died from a fatal cardiac event due to dehydration, rapid weight loss, severe neglect, and untreated schizophrenia.
He had no food. He was not bathed. And I have to remind you, you can show this, I believe, the picture of the cell. This is the filthy conditions that LaShawn Thompson was housed in for 3 months.
His death prompted the resignation of 3 top jail administrators.
A mother accused of abandoning her hours-old newborn in a wooded area denied bond.
Authorities say 40-year-old Karima Jawani left her newborn daughter tied in a plastic bag in Forsyth County, Georgia in 2019. The baby was found alive and nicknamed Baby India. For years, the mother's identity was unknown until DNA testing connected her to Baby India. We learned Saturday that Jawani is a married stay-at-home mother of 3. Now, her lawyer requested bond, saying this was a mental health issue, not a criminal one, but her bond was denied. She faces several charges, including attempted murder. Baby India is now 4 years old, and while her identity is secret for her own safety, she's described as a happy and healthy child.
The cause of a massive and deadly fire in Charlotte, North Carolina was an accident. Fire investigators say Thursday's blaze was caused by a trailer that was spraying insulation material as part of the construction of a new apartment building. 2 construction workers were killed. 15 others were rescued.
Infertility, that's something that millions of Americans struggle with, and with the rise of artificial intelligence, there may be a new way to help hopeful parents. Riley?
Well, we have been cloudy, cool, and wet over the last several days, and that is going to continue through Tuesday, but we will see some improvements later into the week. We'll have that full forecast just after the break.
Time.
Call all nines.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at our traffic camera looking towards I-20. This is actually thanks to an overturned tractor trailer causing a backup. Right now, 2 lanes of I-20 eastbound are closed, as well as the Walton Way entrance ramp. It's expected to be that way for a while, so crews are going to have to be out there cleaning up gravel, diesel, fuel, and we will continue to follow this and bring you any updates. But right now, you can see from that traffic camera that traffic is moving pretty slow, and it's been like that over the last hour, hour and a half. So a heads up there, just try to avoid that part of town if you can help it. Temperature-wise today, we are still much cooler than average, 76 degrees right now here at Augusta. Pretty light winds. We've seen some rain earlier today. Currently, we are dry, just hanging on to those clouds, but you can see what's south of us. This stalled boundary, along with an area of low pressure, this is going to stay in play over the next several days and going to keep our chance for some rain through Tuesday, Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, we should finally start to see some sun again, but until then, just make sure you have that umbrella close by. We're going to be in this pattern to where you'll likely see just a few passing showers on and off through the rest of this evening, tonight, tomorrow. And one thing to keep in mind is that radar has a really tough job of picking up drizzle or very light rain near the surface. It just kind of overshoots it. So a lot of times we'll see that just kind of steady light rain mist across the region like what we had over the weekend, and radar just can't see it. So if you pull up a radar app, can't see the rain but know it's raining outside, likely that is the case. For temperatures the rest of this evening and tonight, we're going to stay in the 70s the next couple of hours. Overnight tonight, we should be able to drop down at least into the 60s for most spots, and staying pretty cloudy as well. As far as rain chances go this evening and tonight, we're just going to look at widely scattered rain chances all the way through our Tuesday afternoon, portions of Tuesday night. They'll stick around through early Wednesday morning, but by Wednesday afternoon, we finally see those rain chances drop off. And we are looking at a much drier outlook once we get into Wednesday and Thursday later this week. Here's a look at our rain totals so far today. We're close to a ½ inch at Daniel Field, and actually Millen down there in Jenkins County, they're getting close to an inch of rain so far today. So there has been some steady showers, but it's been a very wet pattern over the last week or so. You can see actually about 7 of the 8 last days that we've had here, we have recorded some rainfall across Augusta, which is bringing us back up to near normal for the month. But if you look at our rain totals for the year, we are close to 7 inches above average. So some pretty impressive rain so far for 2023. As the rain continues tonight, tomorrow, cannot rule out maybe there's some isolated flooding issues. Definitely doesn't look to be a huge threat for us here in Augusta, but possibly some of our southern and western counties may just have to battle a little bit heavier rain. But for your Tuesday, we're expecting cloudy conditions, staying mild. We're going to wake up in the 60s, afternoon highs staying in the 70s again tomorrow. Northeast winds may get a little bit breezy at times, generally between 8 to 12 throughout the day Tuesday. As we roll into Wednesday, this starts to move a little bit further offshore. So Wednesday morning, we'll keep that chance maybe for a few light showers. Into the afternoon, though, we should actually get back some sunshine across the region. That will lead to a little bit warmer temperatures Wednesday, most likely at least getting into the upper 70s. Here's a look at those temperatures over the next couple of days. So just cooler than average. We are not going to see any summer-like heat anytime soon. Those highs will stay well below average all the way through the weekend, even early next week for your Memorial Day. So not too bad. We'll definitely take it for the end of May.
Thanks, Riley. It's a health issue for couples. The World Health Organization says 1 in 6 people struggle with infertility.
As Carly Barnett shows us, one Georgia doctor is taking a futuristic approach involving artificial intelligence to help treat this long-standing problem.
It just helps to give me another option.
Shars Chambers is in the process of planning her fall wedding, but she's also planning ahead for their future family by freezing her eggs through IVF or in vitro fertilization.
You want to go to that practice that is thinking outside of the box. I think AI is just one of those ways that we can do that.
So she sought out Dr. Corrine Frew, medical director at OMA Fertility in Buckhead.
We now employ artificial intelligence with robotics in the lab in order to give us improved embryo quality.
She says they're using innovation to combat infertility.
If you can select the best sperm to then inject into each mature egg, that equals higher fertilization rates.
To do that, they use this robot.
It marks and tracks each sperm as it is moving throughout the sample. Your eyes do not have to do the work so that you're chasing down the sperm. Nope, the work's already automated and done for you.
Dr. Frew says it does not replace an embryologist, but it's a tool to help them do their job.
We think that this is the next thing that needs to happen, and the more efficiencies we can build into the system, the better. If we can get patients pregnant in fewer cycles, that is the goal. There's nothing that's guaranteed when it comes to fertility, and I think that's important to be aware of, but at the very least, it's like, I know I did what I could.
And this new technology could help patients save big. Just one round of treatment runs an average of $20,000. Well, blocked railroad crossing holding families in one Georgia town hostage. We take you to the town of Rocky Ford. Coming up.
First Alert Radar.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. Surprisingly, there is no Medicare orientation. Let us guide you through the entire process. For a commitment-free consultation, please give us a call or visit our website. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. RU64.com.
And streaming on Paramount Plus.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. The Medicare enrollment process can be overwhelming. Let us take that burden off your shoulders. We're local and we're here to help. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. RU64.com.
A blocked railroad crossing is holding families in one Georgia town hostage, and it's not a new problem in Screven County.
Matt Diente explains those residents recently reached a breaking point when a train was parked right in front of the heart of their town for an entire day.
On this particular afternoon, the town of Rocky Ford is even quieter than usual. Eerily, frustratingly quiet. Flashing lights and parked cars tell an all too familiar story for people around here. This Norfolk Southern train split the town of Rocky Ford in half for nearly 24 hours earlier this month, forcing residents to wait it out. Locals say it's an extreme case of a regular occurrence.
I'm on 148 Main Street, right next to the train track that stays there 2 to 3 hours at a time.
Beulah Budget runs a cafe and gas station in town. She says the train blockage has been a problem for years, but it's gotten worse recently. She says it's crushing business and more.
My business is suffering. My church suffer on Sunday mornings when it be there and people coming from the, got to cross the track.
But that's not all.
The school bus come through. They have to sit and wait for hours for the kids.
We watched as this school bus pulled up, dropped off kids, and waited. Resident Aiden Peters says people in town feel powerless.
Obviously, the train track split Rocky Ford into two, so it's kind of frustrating when you live one house down and you can't even get to your own house.
As you can see here, the company did put up this sign with a number to call if a train is blocking a crossing for more than 15 minutes. But Peters says it's useless.
They say the same thing over again. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. That's all we get.
These residents tell us it's time for a change. They say if these trains are going to derail their way of life, they'd at least like to know why and how long their wait will be this time.
A little bit more communication will always be key to help out the citizens of Rocky Ford and what to expect.
Frustrating. Wow. Max contacted Norfolk Southern for comment. They said, in part, quoting here, the conditions affecting this particular crossing have largely been improving. I want to be clear, though. Norfolk Southern never wants to inconvenience a member of a community with a stopped train. Our teams work hard to minimize the time trains have to spend in the siding while others pass, and we also have instructions for trains to be separated at this crossing when they will be there for an extended period of time, whenever possible. Now, they went on to say that the issue temporarily worsened over the last few weeks because of some changing rules.
Rocky Ford's mayor, Ken Mott, gave this statement. He says, in part, quote, a train blockage of the railroad crossing, which is located in the center of Rocky Ford, results in citizens, school buses, emergency vehicles, and any daily commuters being cut off with zero access to the opposite side of town. Our citizens and travels have been patient over the years to allow 15 to 30 minutes in delays. Any delays beyond this time frame have led to kids missing school, loss of revenue within the town, along with daily commuters unable to meet job time frame requirements. We look forward in working with Norfolk Southern to resolve this increasing issue. Riley?
Well, we have been in a cloudy and cooler pattern the last several days, and it looks like we are going to hang on to cooler temps most days this week. High temps will be running more than 10 degrees below average most days through Friday. Have another look at the forecast just after the break.
When it's time.
All right, welcome back, folks. We're going back out to our camera looking towards the Bobby Jones Expressway and mainly towards this I-20 eastbound lane, looking towards Walton Way Extension. Still looking at a little bit of traffic. Every once in a while it improves, but now it's backing up again. So a heads up, definitely some delays there. And the Richmond County Sheriff's Office actually said they're going to be cleaning this up for a little bit. So just a heads up, try to avoid that area if you can. Looking at our Doppler Max or our First Alert Radar Network right now, we still have some steady showers across Wilkes, Tolliver, and portions of Hancock County. Right now here around the Augusta Metro, it does look dry, but we've been in this scenario the past few days to where there could be some drizzle or just very light rain that the radar's just completely missing. So if you're stepping out this evening and tonight, you may not see rain on the radar, but it could still be raining outside. So keep that umbrella next to you. Same thing on Tuesday. We're going to see just kind of on and off shower chances throughout the day. Tuesday, highs will stay well below average, and then we do start to dry out by Wednesday afternoon.
All right, thanks, Riley. That's all the time we have, but stick with us. After a short break, we have much more news and weather coming up as Live at 5 continues.
On air and online, News 12.